Okay, there's 6.1 part 2. Now, you need to keep that sheet you did in 6.1 part 1. That tells you the inequalities, the symbols, words that represent those symbols, and then opens towards our each. You're not really going to need this side. You will later, but on this particular assignment, you won't. Okay, 6.1 part 2. These are the examples. First set of examples, the directions are write an inequality that describes each situation. Okay, here's example 1. Prices for rides start at, now on the document start at is in bold italics, $19.99, and it has an R variable. So you're going to put R, you're going to put $19.99. Now you just put the appropriate inequality, start at. Okay, starting at is greater than or equal to. Okay, because you'd start there and only go up. That's all you have to do, you don't have to graph it. Example 2, the speed limit. And the limit is in bold italics. On the interstate, is 75 miles per hour. So you use the variable S for speed, 75. Limit. Limit would be less than or equal to, because you shouldn't be going over the speed limit. You should only be going less than or equal to the speed limit. Actually, the interstate, there's a minimum you have to go, but we're going to ignore that for today. Okay, example 3. A person must be at least being in bold italics, 35 years old to be elected president of the United States. Just put president, that's good enough. Okay, so the variable we're supposed to use is A. I would guess that's for age, so A. I get these out of the textbook. At least, so at least I would use greater than or equal to. Okay, then the last one of these set, example 4. Every object on Earth travels less than is in bold italics, 186,000 miles per second, and then they have V in parentheses because that's the variable you want to use. So V would be your velocity, 186,000 would be your critical value, less than would mean that without the equals. Okay, that's pretty much all you do on the first set. Now the second set, you're doing the same thing, but they're a little bit more complex. I'm not going to write them. They're on your document if you're in class or on the paper. My goal is to earn $300 selling cookies and donuts. Cookies cost 50 cents each. Cookies are going to be represented with the variable C. Donuts are 75 cents each. Donuts represented by the variable D. Write an inequality to represent my goal. You're not solving these, okay? You're just writing it, and that's the answer. The word goal, that would be greater than or equal to, because if you set a goal, you want to be equal to the goal, or you can go over it. You can exceed it. So $300 is the goal. Now go off the side somewhere. What are the two dollar amounts that are going to help us get to our goal? Well, 0.50 and 0.75. Now I'm going to have to sell more than each to meet my goal. So the cookies, I don't know how many I'm going to sell, so I would times it by C. I would want to sell it multiple times. 75 cents is D. So you come over here, you write 0.50 times C plus 0.75 times D. If you don't put the dots, that's fine. Then you just write 0.50C plus 0.75D greater than or equal to 300. Example 6 is the same thing, okay? My goal is to earn $1,000 selling t-shirts and hoodies. T-shirts cost $9.99 each. Hoodies are $20 each. That's represented by H. Write an inequality to represent the goal. Again, a goal. $1,000. Now the $2 amounts that help me get to that goal are 0.99 and $20, but I need to sell multiple amounts. So 99 cents, it's $9.99. That's a $9.99. I accidentally wrote $0.99. Here, I'll write it so you can see it. Okay, so let's talk about the $9.99. That's for the t-shirts. I'd want to sell multiples, and 20 hoodies. So 0.99 times T plus 20 times H. Okay. All right, now example 7 and 8. You're solving inequality. You're going to solve the problem now. You're not just going to write the expression and leave it. Okay. Example 5 pounds. Pounds is going to be represented by X. A pasta serves 14 people because it would be people per pound. People is Y. It's always Y per X, so people per pound. We have 17.5 pounds of salad. Write an inequality that represents how many people we can serve with what we have. Then in parentheses it says you need to solve the problem, then rewrite the answer with the inequality. So if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, I have it in parentheses there. Okay, so to solve a story problem, okay, I've got pounds and people. Okay, pounds should be the X, people should be Y, and it's always Y per X. So it would be per pound, per X, people per pound. Now the people per pound is not given, okay? So I'm going to make my table, the X, Y. You guys got to label the X and Y so you don't throw numbers in the wrong place. So X is pounds, Y is people. Now put a 0, but we're not going to 1, 2 because we don't have that. We're going to block it and then start putting in information. So 5 pounds is with 14 people. And then we have 17.5 pounds. That's why you have to include the labels there. And you don't know how many people. Now if you had 0 pounds, you'd serve 0 people. So instead of drawing the line, we want to make our proportions. Okay. Remember, it's always Y over X, okay? So it's people over pounds. So people, pounds, pounds, okay? So the rate, 14 people, 5 pounds. 17.5 pounds, put P for people, okay? And down in the corner, you write. Down in the corner, you're trying to solve the number of people. So people equals. So you cross multiply and divide, you get 49. So you put 49, but now you need to write that answer as an inequality. Here's what you do. You put P and 49. P stands for people. Now, it says have, okay? The word have means you can't go over it, less than or equal. Because if you only have a certain amount, you could be equal to it, or you could go smaller and have some left over, but you know you can't go over it. So that's the answer. That's what I mean when I say solve the problem, then rewrite the answer with an inequality. Okay, then example 8, last example, and the video's done. Same as, kind of the same as the first one. A florist is making 5 centerpieces. 5 centerpieces X require 24 roses Y. We have 96 roses. Write an inequality for how many centerpieces we can make. And just like on the last one, you need to solve the problem, then rewrite the answer with an inequality. Okay? So centerpieces is the answer. Now we'll rewrite it as in an inequality. Okay? But let's get the answer, solve it first. So you got roses and centerpieces. You can just put CP. The centerpieces is represented by X, roses Y. Because if we can do 24 roses to 5 centerpieces, it would make sense. Roses per centerpiece, the higher quantity. So per would be per CP at per X roses. It's always per X, Y per X, Y over X. Again, we don't have that rate, okay? I mean, we have 24 roses, but that's not for one centerpiece, that's for 5, okay? And then 96 roses has no centerpiece value to go with it. Okay, so again, a table, but instead of 0, 1, 2, we do 0. Please label the X and Y. X is centerpieces, Y is roses. If you last test, some of you kind of didn't get it right. If you include the labels, you'll do better. Okay. I'll put that there eventually. So 5 centerpieces would be 24 roses. We have 96 roses. Question mark for the centerpieces. Now, if we don't have any centerpieces, we don't need any roses. Okay, so that means I can set up a proportion instead of having to make the line and write a equation. Remember, it's Y over X, so the Y labels your roses. So roses, roses. Centerpieces, centerpieces, centerpieces. Okay, I got 24 roses to 5 centerpieces, and we have 96 roses. I'm going to put C for centerpieces. So 5 times 96 divided by 5, or 96 times 5 divided by 24 is 20. Okay. Okay, so 20 is the answer, so we have C and 20. Now again, there's that word have. If you only have a certain amount, then it's less than or equal to. Okay. Because I can do 20 at the most, and if I do something less, and if I make like 10 centerpieces, then I'll just have some roses left over, which is fine. I just can't make more than 20 because I only have a certain amount of roses.